In everyday photographs, it is easy to notice that Knox often appears with his mother more than with his father. The moments of Knox going grocery shopping with Angelina, smiling while listening to her conversations, or putting their arms around each other during overseas trips all reflect a close, warm bond. Angelina Jolie has long been admired by the public not only for her illustrious film career, but also for the way she chooses to be a mother. After her marriage with Brad Pitt ended, Angelina demonstrated the determination, even the pride, of a stoic woman. She placed her children at the center of her life, making them her top priority, and arranged all of her personal and professional activities around family. What is remarkable is that she has managed to maintain a rare balance, being both a talented artist and a humanitarian activist, yet never allowing those roles to overshadow her devotion as a mother. This absolute prioritization has made her children, including Knox, always find emotional support in her. In contrast, images of Knox with Brad Pitt are seen far less frequently. This is partly due to circumstances after the divorce, and partly because of the personal path Brad has chosen. The public has often pointed out that Brad seems to devote more attention to his high-profile romantic relationships and his charming image in the entertainment industry, rather than appearing regularly with his children. While Angelina presents herself as a resilient mother, deeply connected with her children, Brad at times leaves the impression of being a distant father who prioritizes himself and his career. This inevitably sparks comparisons. On one side is Angelina, the nurturing mother who protects and constantly accompanies her children. On the other side is Brad, the star still shining in the spotlight of Hollywood, yet seemingly detached from the daily lives of his children. Knox Jolie-Pitt was born on July 12, 2008 in the city of Nice, in the south of France. The birth of the twins, Vivienne and Knox, quickly became one of the most talked about global media events. Not only because their parents were Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, two A-list Hollywood superstars, but also because of the public's curiosity about the next generation of what the press had dubbed the Golden Family. From the very beginning of his life, Knox was surrounded by a level of attention that would be unimaginable for any ordinary child. The very first photographs of the twins were sold for a record price, reflecting the extraordinary degree of fascination the public had for the children of Hollywood's most powerful couple. Knox's childhood was closely tied to the image of his famous mother. Whenever Angelina Jolie took her children shopping, traveling, or even just stepped outside, paparazzi were almost always waiting to capture images. As a result, Knox appeared in the media frequently, even though he himself never actively chose that exposure. In many photographs, Knox could be seen holding his mother's hand, or walking beside his siblings, his face often more reserved, showing fewer emotions before the cameras. Unlike some other celebrity children in Hollywood, who quickly grew accustomed to the spotlight and enjoyed fame from a young age, Knox seemed cautious and somewhat shy. Angelina has often shared that she encourages all of her children to develop their own personalities and never forces them to follow in their parents' footsteps. This explains why Knox has had very little involvement in the entertainment industry, apart from a minor voice role in the animated film Kung Fu Panda 3 in 2016. One of the most striking aspects of Knox's public image is his silence. He rarely appears in interviews and has hardly ever spoken publicly. This silence does not equate to insignificance. On the contrary, it makes him even more intriguing in the eyes of the public. In a world where many celebrity children quickly join social media, become influencers, or pursue fashion fame, Knox seems to choose to remain apart. He allows his appearance and natural growth to speak for him, rather than using words or stunts to attract attention. This silence creates a sense of mystery, leaving both the media and fans even more curious whenever Knox unexpectedly appears. A clear example of this came at the 2024 Governor's Awards, where Knox made his first red carpet appearance in years. The teenager walked beside Angelina Jolie with a composed demeanor, wearing a formal tuxedo and sporting a neat short haircut. Without saying a word, his mature appearance immediately became a hot topic in international media. The image of the little Jolie-Pitt boy seemed to vanish, replaced by that of a tall, calm, and magnetic young man. This proved that Knox does not need noise or theatrics to capture public attention. When compared with his siblings, the differences in how each one shapes their image become apparent. Maddox, the eldest, gained notice for choosing to study and live far away from Hollywood. Pax has been linked to stories of his education and his personal artistic projects. Shiloh frequently draws attention for her evolving fashion style and strong personality. Vivienne, Knox's twin sister, has often appeared with their mother in artistic projects, most recently in the Broadway musical The Outsiders. In contrast, Knox has left little mark in public artistic or entertainment fields, but he has impressed the public through his physical growth, from his tall stature to his dedication to martial arts and sports. This demonstrates that within the same family, each child chooses a different path, and Knox represents the quiet, reserved type who shows strength through action rather than words. The latest images of Knox at age 17 further reinforce this identity. On his recent birthday, he participated in a Muay Thai match and emerged victorious, with Angelina watching proudly from the stands. This marked a turning point, showing that Knox is no longer just a celebrity child passively in front of the cameras, but is actively pursuing his own interests and affirming his maturity through discipline and training. The event was even compared in the media to a quote, real-life version of Fight Club, adding another dimension to Knox's unique journey into adulthood. While Vivienne is closely tied to the arts, and Shiloh to fashion and dance, Knox is shaping his identity through sports and physical strength. For many years, when looking at photographs of the Jolie-Pitt family, Knox was rarely the most prominent figure. If Shiloh drew public curiosity with her fashion choices and bold personality, Zahara left an impression at major events, and Vivienne often appeared beside her mother with a sweet and gentle image. Then Knox frequently blended into the background of the frame, seen as the quiet, unassuming boy who attracted little attention. At one point, people even remarked that Knox appeared shorter than Vivienne, despite being her twin, which reinforced his image as gentle, reserved, and somewhat shy in the public eye. However, everything changed dramatically in just the past few years. From being an average-looking teenager, Knox suddenly entered a period of rapid physical development, what biologists call a growth spurt during adolescence. The transformation was striking. Knox now stood tall, with broad shoulders and an athletic build that not only drew attention from his peers, but also surprised international media. The fact that a boy once described as small could now stand at the same height, or perhaps even taller than Brad Pitt, an actor already above the average height for American men, was nothing short of a remarkable metamorphosis. This swift transformation quickly became material for both social media and the press. Internet users began circulating before and after photos of Knox, from snapshots taken in 2015-2016, showing him holding his mother's hand on the street with a slight, childlike frame, to recent images of a lanky, mature-looking young man. Hollywood fan forums buzzed with comparisons, describing the change as like night and day. Some joked that Knox had, quote, turned into a giant overnight, while others seriously analyzed genetics. With a father standing well over 6 feet tall and a mother at 5 feet 7 inches, Knox's towering height seemed entirely predictable. Social media platforms such as Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok were soon flooded with comments and memes about Knox's growth. One fan wrote, "I still remember Knox holding his mother's hand at the grocery store, and now he is taller than her. Time really flies." Another quipped, "Brad Pitt used to be the gold standard of height in Hollywood, and now Knox has officially dethroned him within his own family." Others expressed genuine emotion. It is amazing to witness children grow up, and Knox is living proof of how time changes everything. The international press also joined in. Major entertainment outlets ran sensational headlines such as, "Has Knox Jolie-Pitt surpassed Brad Pitt in height?" Or, "The once small boy has become a tall teenager." Knox's relatively rare public appearances only amplified the shock, since the public had little exposure to his in-between stages of growth. From the image of a quiet, modest child, the media suddenly found themselves faced with a very different Knox, tall, mature, and confident. It was precisely this abrupt leap that fueled such a powerful wave of public discussion. When discussing Knox and his transformation, it is impossible not to mention the two central figures, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. For decades, Brad Pitt has been regarded as an icon of masculine beauty in Hollywood, standing around 5 feet 11 inches to 6 feet tall, with a well-proportioned physique and handsome features. He has repeatedly been named among the sexiest men alive. To the public, Brad has embodied not only a movie star but also a standard of male physical appearance. That is why the possibility of his son, Knox, surpassing him in height carries a special meaning. It is not merely a change within the family, but also a symbolic moment when the successor shows signs of surpassing his father.